Hello. We are on the 19th day of our 21 days of tapping challenge. Yes, it's just the last 3 days to go. Today, the topic that I'm picking up is around money because a lot of people came back to me personally saying that Sonal, we want to be making a lot of money, we want to save, we want to invest, but for that, we should be first having money, right? And money is a major concern in our life today in such a way that the shortage of money is causing a lot of anxiety and stress in our life, right? Day to day expenses have also become so difficult for us, and we've been working hard at our job. We work for more hours than we even want to be working, but then that's the need of the hour, but still it's not working at the rate at which we wanted to, and the basic expenses have, or the necessity has also become difficult, leave alone the luxury and leading that life that we really wish. But the day-to-day expenses, taking care of ourselves, sending our children to school, right, it has also become difficult. So how do we remove that stress when it comes to money? How do we remove that you know anxiousness that starts coming into us as we see our bank balance dropping, as we see that it's just the first few days of the month and we have already spent our salary, and now we have to wait for the month end for the new money to come in, right? So how do we reduce that? So today we'll tap on that, but before that, before I start tapping, I want to open up your mind to something else also when it comes to money. See, there are two ways via which you can be making money. One, you can be solely focusing on creating active income. For instance, your job, or let's say, for instance, your day business that you do. Let's say you've opened up a shop that you're sitting on, or any physical product business that you're doing. Now, in both of these cases, the good thing is that you have active money coming. The good thing about job is that it gives you instant gratification, that even if you've not worked to your fullest ability, your salary will still get credited at the month end, right? But there is a downside, a big downside to it if you're solely relying on a job to pay you money, that since it's active income, you always need to be actively involved into making that money. That is why it's called active income, right? And wherever it's only you who needs to be actively involved to make money, there's a cap on it. Because how much can you work? Assuming you become mad after working also, and you work, let's say, 20 hours a day. You don't do anything, you don't eat, drink, you don't exercise, you're just working 20 hours a day. And 4 hours, let's say you sleep, you go to washroom and do the other things. Still, it's only 20 hours of work that's getting done in a day. You have to remember 20 hours of work in a day that's happening. But suppose you start thinking, I'm not asking you to implement it immediately, but you start at least first thinking in that direction. What if there are people who are working for you, one, or to start with, what if there are systems which are working for you? What if I tell you that you can develop something where there's a system which is working for you, and you don't need to actively be involved for those 20 hours to make money? It's not like if you stop doing the 20 hours of work, money will not come. No. Even if you're working 2 to 3 hours rather than 20 hours in a day, and the systems are working in the background, the work is getting done. Or if people are working for you, then the work is getting done. So, how do you think the big employers are so rich? Because they have created a system where not just 20 hours of work, lakhs of man hours of work per day is getting done for them. So, but do you think they started with lakh man hours, or they started with their 20 hours, or let's say they started with their 14, 15 hours a day? That's how a person starts a business, right? When you focus on creating passive income, the passive income is not passive from day one. You have to remember that no income is passive from day one. And even when you're, let's say 5 years down the line, also, it's not 100% passive. There has to be a certain upkeep involved to it, right? For example, let's say you have money and you've invested it into a property which is giving you rent. Now, you don't need to be involved in making that rent, going to work, because if you don't go to work, the rent will not come. No. I have a property that I have also put on rent. The rent comes every month. There's no amount of effort that I need to be doing other than, the effort that I made in making so much money that I could put the property on rent, right? So that is what we call passive income, where you are not always doing the work and money is still coming. So that is also the direction that you need to start looking into. See, stress and anxiety is okay if you have it today. I mean, we don't want to be having it, and thus we need to remove it. But you also need to be aware that maybe one of the reasons that the money issues are constantly occurring in your life is because you've been solely relying on one source of income and putting the entire pressure of making money on that one source. And that too is an active source. So, the worst sort of income to be having. That firstly, you need to be involved all the time to make money. And secondly, you're just putting the pressure of your entire financial future on that one source of income, where you definitely have the capacity to learn and build multiple sources of income, so that even if one or two are not working, there are other streams of money which are still paying you and making you richer, right? And decreasing that stress, decreasing that anxiety around money. Okay, so yes, tapping absolutely is amazing that you can be doing to remove the current stress and anxiety. But I also wanted to point this very important part out of, in front of you, that if you're solely relying on one source of income, please, please, please start thinking on how you can be building multiple sources of income. All right, cool. On this note, let's start tapping from the karate chop point. Okay. Even though today I face a lot of stress because of the money issues in my life, I still choose to love and honor and respect myself. Even though the constant money problems, shortage of money, never having enough, always having to sacrifice on the needs, this really creates a mess in my head. I still choose to love and honor and respect myself. Even though money has become a constant struggle in my life, it's been years that I really had a good bank balance where I could really do things for myself that I love using money. But still, I choose to love, honor, and respect myself today. All right, let's start tapping from the eyebrow point, okay? Money is a big issue in my life. And it's actually not money, but shortage of money that's a big issue. I constantly work. I work very hard. I try to put in effort so that I can make more money. But still, somehow things don't work for me. I don't get those promotion, those hike. And even when I get them, it's not huge enough to create a big difference in my life. My savings, my investments continuously seem to be depleting. Or maybe I'm not even in a habit of saving money. So that's a constant stress that I have, that, what if something happens where I'm required to pay, some unforeseen event happens, some emergency comes, where will I have the money from? I hardly am living from paycheck to paycheck. Where the salary comes, it finishes in 5 to 7 days of the week, and then the rest of the month is gone scrambling by, looking at my bank account and crying over it. And I don't like this feeling. I don't like this feeling of constantly struggling with money. I also want to be going to the market and doing things that I love. I also want to be going to the market and, buying things which I like. Maybe not on the spur, but at least sometimes some small, small things that I like. But now the situation is that I always have to look at, okay, no, 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 I'm not allowed. No, no, if I do this, maybe I'll not be able to pay the school fees of my children. So that avoids me from doing any expense on myself. But I don't want this feeling. I don't want to feel this way. I don't want to feel anxiety all the time around money. I know I'm above all of this. I know I'm bigger than all of this. And I know I can change this situation. I know I can change my money situation. And so today, I'm open to changing my money situation. I'm open to taking the control of money in my own hands. It's only me who can create more of it. Why am I only relying on the money that's coming to me and letting my life get into that flow? Why am I not working on creating more income in my life? Because there's only a limit up to which I can cut down my expenses. There's only a limit up to which, I can save or invest. But there's no limit to my income. It's uncapped. There's no limit to how much money I can be making. So rather than limiting my expenses, rather than limiting my savings to the money that's already getting credited, how about I learn ways to improve my income sources? How about I learn how I can be making money from multiple sources rather than the one source, which is my current business or job? How about I learn some new skills which are working in the market today and capitalize upon it? In today's market, it's not difficult to make money. It's really not difficult to make money as much as I'm making it, because it's maybe that my focus has been somewhere wrong. I may have been focusing only on getting that one job, otherwise, I'll not do anything else. No, I need to be diversified. In today's time, there's no guarantee, even if I get one job, that will suffice for my income, that will suffice for the ever growing expenses. No. So there's only one choice that I have today. Either I choose to struggle with money by solely relying on one source of income and constantly feel stressed, constantly feel, anxiety deep within me, or rather, I channel that stress into creating something new, creating something worthwhile for me. That's the choice number two. The choice number two is that rather than feeling stress, I tried to see that what is the skill that I have in me, or at least what are the skills that I wish to be having in me, which I can capitalize upon, which I can sell in the market. And that is how I can create more income. And that is how my money worries will go down. My money worries will not go down by magically wanting money to appear, by magically wanting my salary to shoot up. Because even if, let's say, it goes up by 10%, 20%, how much difference will that create? The expenses are going to increase more than that. My needs, my wants are going to increase more than that. So, how about I create another income source? And that will reduce the shortage of money that I have. That will reduce the stress that I have around shortage of money. So, today I decide that rather than constantly putting pressure of money on the one vehicle that I'm driving today, which brings me money, I will drive multiple vehicles. I will drive multiple vehicles so that even if the fuel goes low in one, I have the second. And even if the fuel goes low in the third, I have the fourth. Because there's only so much fuel that I can put into one vehicle, right? I cannot overload it beyond that. But what if I want more? What if I want to travel far? I can use multiple vehicles, right? So I decide today to start looking out for ways where I will start making more money, where I will start creating multiple sources of income. And at least some of those sources have to be passive income sources. Not all the sources have to be active income, because otherwise I will burn myself out working. And I cannot work on 10 things in a day and put equal time and attention to it. I cannot do it humanly. So, what I'll focus upon rather is that the income that I'm building should become passive over a period of time. Because that way, I will not be required to put in time forever into maintaining it. So today I decide that I will start looking for multiple sources of income, and at least some of those sources of income have to be passive income sources. Today I decide that the only way to remove the stress that I have around money is to look out for multiple sources of income and make them passive income sources where people are working for me, where systems are working for me, and I'm still making money. Today I decide that I'll focus on passive income sources which are making money for me automatically. All right. You can now close your eyes and take a deep breath and relax. Cool. So you do realize that there's only so much pressure that you can be putting on the income that you're making today. There's a limit to how much you can budget your money. There's a limit, right? You cannot just cut down on your expenses 100%. You still need to have food, you still need to have the basic necessities, but there's no cap to the money that you can be making. There's no cap. If you figure that out, there's literally no limit to how much you can get from the market, from your customers, all right? So also focus on that, right? Rather than being like that, okay, I'm earning 1 lakh rupees. Right now, my expenses are, let's say, 40,000. So, how about I cut them down somehow to 25,000? You'll not be able to sustain that way in the longer run, right? Because in the longer run, rather than limiting your expenses, you want to spend on yourself also, right? You don't want to be always a meager person. You don't always want to have a life where you're not able to buy clothes for yourself, where you're not able to buy shoes because anyway you're cutting down on your daily necessities. How about you buy a shoes, right, that you want? So you don't want that. So when you want something that's sustainable, when you want something that grows money for you, you need to work on creating more money. So your focus has to be not on reducing or cutting down the expenses, but has to be on growing your money. All right. And that is the short way that your stress and anxiety around money will get removed. Cool. On this note, I'll take a sign off right now and I'll see you again on the next day of tapping. Take care.